How to start conversations with a boy. Teenagers are often unfairly characterized as being moody and disobedient. Teenage boys, in particular, are often portrayed as aggressive, mean, and rude, on top of being moody. With so many negative stereotypes of what teenage boys act like, it can be easy to mischaracterize them as too troublesome to talk to. To make matters worse, teenage boys are constantly judged for being perpetual troublemakers who have no goodness inside of them. Hey, my name is Alex, and on this podcast I share useful and practical information on how to become a better person. If you are interested in personal development, then please consider subscribing. If you want to download a free book called How to Talk to Anyone, 10 Simple Tricks to Have a Meaningful Conversation, go to www.selfimprovementvault.com or check the link in the description. To start a conversation with a teenage boy, you must ensure that you approach him as an individual. Do not approach him as though he is a negative stereotype. There are no good stereotypes of teenage boys, so it can be easy to dismiss a boy as though he is nothing but trouble. Teenage boys are often constantly criticized, critiqued, dismissed, and disbelieved in our society because of these stereotypes. When you can respect his individuality and his humanity, you display to him that you are trustworthy. He is then more likely to engage in conversation with you. Do not start a conversation with a teenage boy using criticism or judgment. Remember that they are constantly judged as malicious thugs by many people. If you approach them the same way, their defenses will go up, and they will refuse to have many conversations with you. A better solution is to approach him with praise and compliments for the areas where he is excelling. Something as simple as saying, "I noticed you have been doing very well at school. I am proud of you," will go a very long way in winning his trust and his loyalty. Boundaries are also vital for teenagers. Teenagers are only just learning about their boundaries and are often angry that most people disrespect them. If you start a conversation by telling a boy what to do and what not to do, what to wear and what not to wear, he will choose not to converse with you. Rather than telling him, demanding, or enforcing, it is always best to respectfully discuss issues with him. Offer him his dignity and self-respect by asking questions like, "Why did you make this particular decision?" And "What influenced you to make this choice?" But be careful not to make those questions sound judgmental. You want to win his trust and loyalty, which cannot be achieved by acting superior toward him. Do not be patronizing. Many adults often patronize younger people, be it out of habit or out of a sense of ageist superiority. Teenagers are often used to people patronizing them and will refuse to engage in conversation with you if you act superior to them. Instead, you must approach him with respect. It shows that you are humble and possess emotional intelligence, two great characteristics for building close relationships with others. Essentially, it shows that you are trustworthy. Furthermore, you may run into a teenager who does not show many of their emotions. Like adults, some teenagers prefer to be stoic for reasons personal to them. And just like adults, trying to break through this stoicism with force will prove unsuccessful. To start a conversation with a person who acts stoic, it is best to offer them the opportunity to join you in conversation without any pressure. You can start by using small talk to show that you mean no harm. If they refuse to engage in small talk with you, respect their boundaries and let it go. If they do engage with you, then continue to respect their boundaries nevertheless. Do not ask personal questions or try to snoop around into their lives. Instead, converse with them on simple things and the matter at hand. When starting a conversation with others, it is not your words that will convince them to talk to you. It is your actions and your attitude. It is how they perceive you, either as disrespectful, emotionally unintelligent, self-ignorant, respectful, emotionally intelligent, or self-aware. You do not want to force him to converse with you. Remember that you must not cross or force his boundaries. If you ask him certain questions, and he acts reluctant to answer, then allow him the time he needs to process his feelings. What may seem like a normal conversation to you may be more emotionally taxing to a teenage boy with less life experience. Teenager is only just going out into the world with their parents and finding their feet in the process. They have not often had many experiences with communication with others without being treated like children. As a result, do not be surprised if a seemingly normal conversation stumps a teenage boy. Offer him the opportunity to return to the conversation later after he has had time to think and prepare himself emotionally. You may say something like, "Would you like us to continue this conversation at a later time?" That way, you can think about how you feel and spend time getting to understand your emotions. Lastly, you may find better success starting a conversation with a boy if you try to find common ground between you and him. What is something you both love? What passions and hobbies do you share? Finding common ground may encourage him to open up more, even for small talk. When sharing your common ground, inject your conversation with humor. Humor is always a great way to start a conversation with anybody. Through small talk, you may get a sense of the kind of person he is from his interests. Use his interests to gauge the type of humor he may enjoy. Do not be afraid to use humor when starting a conversation with others. A few good jokes here and there bring people out of their shells when you try to start a conversation with them. If you want to download a free book called How to Talk to Anyone, 10 Simple Tricks to Have a Meaningful Conversation, go to www.selfimprovementvault.com or check the link in the description. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like so more people discover it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.